Yay.
All right, welcome everyone. We're delighted to see you again. My name is Donny Lowbury,
And I'm Kirk Prime.
and we're delighted again to welcome you to yet another episode of Queer Tribes. And today we're very graced to have the presence of our Daimon Dartmoor, all the way from Auckland, New Zealand.
Yay.
So we love having international visitors and makes it so much even more exciting. And we have a lovely audience here from different parts of North America and other parts of the world. But to start off, we'll tell you a little bit more about Daimon Dartmoor and to give you a little context and give you a little idea. So we know that Daimon was born in London, England, and his family immigrated to New Zealand when he was 3. So now he's based in Auckland, New Zealand, the capital, where he helps to offer the daily gay community meal. This community there serves as a hub for the Two-Eye Brotherhood. Their path to awakening supports men who love men to reclaim their pagan or indigenous ancestry as a foundation for spiritual awakening. Daimon has made several pilgrimages to Dartmoor on Devon in the southwest of England. And there he learned that men of our kind were spiritual gatekeepers in the old clans for a very long ago, as well as in pagan and indigenous traditions worldwide. He identifies as Lagus Duden, meaning two-eyed man in the Cornish language of southwest England. This means holding both male and female polarities of spirit in a man's body.
Mm-hmm.
Daimon's life work has been to reclaim Kerensa Powis, I hope I'm saying that right. This means the way of love and rest in the Cornish language. Long ago, men of our kind would go in as an anamkara or soul companion pair into a cave far from the village. There, with food stored to last for weeks or months, the couple would offer the body limitless rest and limitless loving energy. In this way, the energetic heart would open and the consciousness be absorbed back into its divine source. The Two-Eye Brotherhood offers the way of love and rest in huts and caves outside of Auckland. All members are volunteers and all events are by donation. Very, very fascinating, interesting. Well, welcome, Daimon. Good, so good to see you.
Thank you. Gosh, that was so well written that who wrote it?
Yeah, right. You do a good job at that. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we're graced to have you, and for us, we've gotten acquainted with you for a while now, and just loving everything that you're doing. So it's our honor to just kind of welcome you to share some of your stories. There are 3 questions that we've asked men over the past 10 years. And so we'll just kind of wander through those 3 questions and see where they land for you. So the first one is to kind of, your bio gives us a little bit of a glimpse, but tell us about your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakenings, stories that kind of have been a part of your path or your developing path.
First of all, can you just give me an indication of time, like how long I should speak for?
Okay, sure, absolutely. So this whole call is supposed to last 45 minutes, and we're already 10 minutes into the call, and there are 3 questions. So you can linger on any of the 3 questions, though, as long as you need to. And make the others briefer if you'd like. But I think this first question is the juiciest one, which is about your own story. So maybe give yourself 10 minutes to talk about your own story.
Great. Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to say hi to Toby. It's really cool to see you here. And Toby has been part of my journey since we first started communicating when I was in Nepal. In 2018, Toby.
Wow.
And it's really nice to see you here after you had COVID recently. Just been thinking of you with your health.
Yes.
And Andrew, nice to nice to see you. So, and yeah, and Donny and Kirk, I should probably start there. I reached out to you both because my friend Sunil was coming to San Francisco to present his gay rights film Blue Flower. And Sunil, I was volunteering at the Blue Diamond LGBT community center in Kathmandu when I first had contact with Toby, that Sunil founded that center and was the first openly gay member of parliament in Nepal. And so I got talking to Kirk and Donny, and they ended up helping to host Sunil and took care of him, which I was so grateful for. And I was just blown away by what you're doing at Flesh and Spirit. And Kirk sent me a copy of your book, Body Erotic Prayer.
Erotic Body Prayer.
Erotic Body Prayer. And Donny sent me a copy of his book, about the
Waif Bunny Saved the Boy.
How the Waif Bunny Saved the Boy, which was so beautiful, based on taking care of your partner who was living with HIV and lived a remarkably long time through maybe a little bit of magic there. So yeah, it's and I actually asked Donny and Kirk, hey, would you guys help just a little bit to help mentor what we're doing here in Auckland, because with Flesh and Spirit, Kirk started it over 30 years ago, just over 30 years ago, I think. And so to learn from the experience of those who've established long-standing spiritual community for men who love men is very valuable for me. So just very briefly, my spiritual journey has mostly been about suffering, I think. And, growing up in Christchurch, New Zealand, it was very difficult on a number of counts. First of all, both of my parents were in drug addiction, and I never made an emotional bond with my parents. And they came from religious English families, so had a negative perception of what they would call homosexuals. And homosexuality was illegal in New Zealand until about 1986. So we came here in 1984 when I was 3. So that was always in the background. And I always felt connected to spirit, connected to a world of love and light through the center of my heart. And had, as I described, I could do all the boy things. I was the best runner, the best swimmer, could help build things and fix things, and loved the camaraderie of having a gang of boys and men around me. But then I had the other polarity of my energy, where I loved cooking and baking, and I did try on my sister's clothes and my mother's makeup, and loved picking flowers for the table and putting on little plays for the family, and some things that had a gentler, more creative energy, the female polarity of my spirit. And that was very much not great in my parents' eyes and at school. A lot of bullying at school, changed schools several times. And I made a vow to myself when I was 6 years old that I wouldn't forget that I came from this world of love and light in my heart, because I could feel my heart closing with just the difficult environment I was in at home and at school. And I was a bright boy. I was put up with the older children, and spent most of my childhood, I feel like, hiding in my room at home and hiding in the library at school, just reading books, trying to find knowledge to escape, knowledge of people beyond this little world I was in. So, would have loved to have found Kirk's book back then. But, I started, eventually started reading about people like Edward Carpenter and Harry Hay, but that was later on. So I became an alcoholic as a teenager, and things just went downhill really fast. On the one hand, I'd won a scholarship to university to study, but just absolutely couldn't cope, and was just like living at the gay sauna in my late teens and early 20s. And that was like the only place in the world I felt safe. And like, yes, it was about sex a little bit, but also just the intimacy and the feeling of safety. So I got sober when I was 24 and haven't had to use any alcohol, drugs, mind-altering chemical for 18 years now. And so finding a spiritual family away from my biological family was key for me to sort of get some distance from my parents and see how little well-being we had in our family. So, and out of that, you know, building a spiritual family with other gay men has become, you know, very, very important for me to be able to depend on some of those people. So I see that as part of my destiny now. I've had a couple of key spiritual experiences. I feel I set up an energy laboratory when I was 21. I always had this all-consuming spiritual hunger. And so I took like magic mushrooms, that kind of thing, in London when I was 21, and experienced that there is a divine loving energy that animates every atom in the universe. We're not separate from it. It was so life-changing. And so set up an energy laboratory on Dartmoor in Devon, where I had a lot of family, southwest England, and decided to do experiments to work out how can we experience the reality beyond death without needing these medicines. And so we also had another spot in the foothills of the Himalayas in India, where I was based for 6 years. And so I would go back and forth between England and India. And initially we did these long solo retreats. I did like a 10-month solo retreat in India. My mother's Hindu, my stepmother is Tibetan Buddhist, so I had a lot of exposure to Hinduism and Buddhism. But I found that solo retreat was quite torturous for the body. You know, like I realized the body needed loving energy in a retreat process. So that was how we came to doing meditation retreat as a gay couple, where we worked out how to share energy non-sexually, but then also to share energy sexually as well. And this kind of retreat where you do share loving energy is very common in pagan and indigenous tradition. Just that it's a very simple idea. So yeah, that's just about 10 minutes. So yeah, now I share that method here from Auckland, and would love to see thousands of gay couples try this method. Yeah.
Great. Well, that's a great leaping point, kind of from your journey, and hearing also, you know, I'm a big believer here in all the work that we do, is that, you know, our wounds are full of gifts. And you know, your wounds, you have transformed, transmuted, whatever language you want to call that, into your gifts, into your purpose, and your passion and your ministry. It's really powerful. So thank you for that part of your story. Moving into our second question, which is, for 10 years, we've been asking, especially queer men, about being the queer tribe, and how you see us, or if you see us as a queer tribe, and that, you know, whatever your response is perfect. So go for it.
I generally avoid the more recent language. My understanding is that our planet is severely overpopulated with human beings. And so that changes human consciousness. So, for example, most of us grow up with the child being quite separated from the parent. You don't get that the mother staying close to the child and sleeping on the ground together at night. So most people are walking around with a considerable level of what I would call energetic depletion in their body. And so a lot of the terms, the words that we have today come from an energetically depleted collective consciousness, in my view. And so as some of my heroes have done before with Edward Carpenter trying to create the term homogenic, which didn't really take off. He used the term Uranian for gay men, which he took from Karl Heinrich Ulrich, the German gay rights activist, and Harry Hay and the Mattachine Society coming up with the term homophile, which kind of took off in some circles. You know, we've had to recreate language to say, well, this is, you know, society calls us this medical term homosexual or whatever, but we have to do our own research and say, well, actually, we're going to have to create words that, you know, approximate what we might have been called long ago. So I do use the term Lagisto or Lagistoden, the man with two eyes, because I spent about 7 years living in indigenous and pagan cultures and discovered similar wording, this concept of, first of all, we stand with one foot in the world of women and one foot in the world of men, holding both male and female polarities of spirit in one body. And so that was very healing for me to understand that this gentler side of myself as a child was actually a key part of my nature, and that I needed to hold both that male and female nature to be whole in myself. Because when I came out to my father, he said, well, just don't be a hairdresser. And what he meant, he meant, don't be this, don't be this, don't be an effeminate gay man. You know, try and lower your voice, and you know, he didn't say just be a top, but you know, it was all of that implication. And so but the underlying, a deeper meaning of the term two eye to me is that we see with one eye in the world of the people and one eye in the world of spirit, and we've always stood as the gatekeepers between those worlds. And but you know, I respect whatever language makes sense to each person, and I see a collective reclaiming, a collective rising up of men who love men around the world, and it's been fabulous. You know, we have about 40 gay spiritual leaders on our circle of elders, including you, Toby, and Donny and Kirk, and to help guide the shared meal we offer for gay men every day here in Auckland, and building this earth-based spiritual center for men who love men. And so it's been very interesting, you know, visiting most of those and talking with those men that, you know, in where I was in the UK, Europe, India, Nepal, America, Canada, other places too. There is this sense of trying to reclaim what was lost. And, you know, I mean, the radical fairies, I lived in radical fairy sanctuaries for a couple of years. That had a huge impact on me. And so I feel I'm a small part of this global uprising, that we've been pushed into these cities. I really see them as refugee camps for a lot of gay men. And it's by coming together and by starting to talk that we realize, oh my gosh, you know, certainly in schools and in society, we're not taught about our real nature. We've had to sort of you know, learn about it together. And I feel that we have a crucial part to play in helping to restore harmony to the planet, and in helping to lead the way to spiritual awakening for all people.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And I love the graciousness of which you play with words and are in that mode of reclaiming, as I see as you do, and probably everyone on the call, but I can't speak for y'all. But you know, we're in that time of reclaiming as men who love men, and finding languages that help us remember who we are and come home to our bodies and awaken to our purpose of why are we here on the planet, is all the juicy work that I think all of us are about. So thank you for your response to that. So moving into, one of the things, and you may not see it as clearly, but from this vantage point, I see you as a true visionary for gay men, for men who love men, and that you have an incredible amount of skills of bringing people together. Having done this work for 30 years, I know how difficult it is. It's kind of like herding cats, to sometimes bring gay men together with some common intention. So I say that all to lead us into the last question, which is, what's your vision for us as a movement, as men who love men? Where do you think we're going, or what do you see this kind of emergence that you talked about? Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, with all those nice things you said, I mean, can we just extend this call 2 or 3 hours? I could listen to this all day, and I say that kind of in jest, but I mean, like you said, you guys know it's really hard building community with men who love men. So just like hearing some nice things, like, you guys are very welcome just to come over to Auckland and just stand beside me and just keep saying nice things. That'd be really and
we may just do that.
I'm really getting used to you guys calling me Your Grace, or I'm Grace. You can also call me Your Excellency, Your Holiness. I'm teasing, but and I've really learned so much being a member of Gay Spirit Visions in America, which most of you guys will have heard of, and the Edward Carpenter community in the UK, which has been the chief ancestor lineage that has helped us build the Auckland Centre. So it's been very interesting to hear the visions of so many gay men. My crowd, if you like, are people in the Himalayas who have gone and sat in caves for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They're very, very interesting people. And one of the key things I try to convey to people when I'm talking with them is that most people don't realize how depleted their bodies are energetically in the outside world, that you may only be receiving 2 or 3 or 5% of all the loving energy the body needs. And so, as I said, my vision would be for thousands of gay men couples, hopefully in my lifetime, to try the way of love and rest for 3 days, 10 days, and then for those who've done shorter retreats, we can offer longer retreats of 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and ultimately have a 3-year couple retreats, not program, but tradition. And it takes a long time for the body to fill up with loving energy and just rest. And I found when I came on my fact-finding mission and sort of a pilgrimage to America for 5 months in 2018, one of the things that, I spoke with some very intelligent and learned gay men who had, had built these incredible communities. And the idea of allowing the body to stop moving was kind of anathema, or really went against the grain, because there's so much in American culture where there's pressure to achieve and do and do, and your work. I would hear that word all the time, my work, my work, my work. you know, everything was work. You know, even personal development, you know, my work. And so I should probably briefly describe, with the couple retreat process, there are two phases. The first stage is lying on the ground side by side with chests pressed together and stomachs pressed together, because the body is radiating energy from the front of the torso at all times. And so I went around the world for a long time offering introductory sessions, mostly in Europe, and we would pair people up to lie together for 20 minutes. And, you know, the feedback we got was, you know, these people felt such a sense of relief, because the body instantly knows that it's receiving this loving energy that we would have had a lot more of in ancient indigenous or pagan tradition when there was more space. So, but really what that does, lying together for really 6 to 8 hours a day like that in the beginning of the retreat, it allows the internal organs to fill up with loving energy. They shed the toxicity they've been carrying based on a lifetime of energetic depletion, you know, giving more energy than you're receiving. And so they start to shine with light, and you feel very nauseous for a few days. And the longest couple retreat I've done so far is 6 weeks. So my goal is next to do a 3-month couple retreat. Eventually I want to do a 3-year couple retreat. And so that transition, by lying together for, you know, if you're doing a longer retreat, really several weeks of just lying 6 to 8 hours a day, and this detoxifying that happens, eventually that leads into sharing energy sexually. And it's an entirely different world, sharing sexual union when the body has just been resting and has all the loving energy and rest that it needs. It means that the energetic heart can open, has about 5 chambers. And when the innermost chamber of the energetic heart opens, the soul can manifest in the body as like a rope of solid white light, in my experience, from the crown of the head through the opened heart and on down to the groin. So you're making love as 2 souls uniting. And so it's not the goal. The making love is the energetic nourishment, so that then you can go away and do sitting meditation a few hours later. So there's just an overview of what a couple retreat looks like in a nature hut. And so I always wanted to, like, the whole truth. And so through a short-term couple retreat, I would say that I have experienced the whole reality that exists after we die. I maybe don't have time to go into that today, but I would like, thousands of gay men to experience the reality of death safely and temporarily through couple retreat of really, I think, 1 to 3 months, really. And then I should say this cautiously, in my understanding, the ultimate purpose of human life is to, first of all, realize that trying to chase excitement in this world will be futile, and trying to chase satisfaction in this world will be futile. First of all, because of energetic depletion. Even if you can find a way to give yourself the loving energy you need, how can you ignore extreme suffering of the many? And also because this universe is a dream, in my experience. It's not real. The energy that animates each atom is what's real. The divine consciousness is what's real. And so ultimately people become disillusioned with seeking satisfaction in the world and desire to awaken. As I said, we can offer this temporary experience, but in the long term, I'm confident that we have found a way for permanent awakening, that this can be someone's last lifetime and the soul not return into human form again by doing a couple retreat of I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. It could be 3 years, could be 5 years, something in that range. And that would look a certain way. So I feel that we gay men, if you like, have always held the knowledge of awakening, and this sexual union we share, not for the purpose of children, has always been an energetic nourishment for awakening. So with whatever happens around us on this planet, I feel that we should protect and care for that knowledge, that we've always known how to awaken temporarily and permanently. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for some glimpses. I'm captivated by several things, and if we had hours, we would explore them together. But for this call, you talked about the climate crisis and being refugees, and you know, with all the wars going on right now, you know, people are fleeing their countries and for exile and looking for that kind of nourishment, that safe place for deep connection. I'm wondering how do you see what you're doing in Auckland as a refugee camp in a sense?
Basically, I don't think anything's going to get better at the climate level until there are considerably less human beings. And you cannot, it has to come from the heart of the individual to desire to not have another child for the good of all the animals and trees on the planet. And we're not at that point. People, the survival instinct is so strong. To have children, to survive, is so strong. So because the human population continues to grow by over 1 million per week, I see climate conditions inevitably becoming more severe. And so I do feel I'm building like a climate refugee camp. We are having more and more people come to us who are kind of fleeing their lives because of fires and or different situations. We've had visitors from Europe and America, and that's just kind of going on in the background. Like, my primary purpose is to share the Way of Love and Rest couple retreat method, but I feel sad every day. I feel sad every day. I can't watch the news anymore. Just the destruction of the trees, especially the lungs of the earth, the destruction of the animals, the water. You know, just I find it very distressing if I look at it. So I try not to look at it too much. But you know, the main thing is we get these guys coming. We get these guys coming along to the daily meal, and most of them are not looking for the things that I've mentioned today. So and you, Kirk and Donny, you'll know more about this than me, that we've had to create 2 levels of a very welcoming, friendly place where people can come and have a meal together. And then we have our path to awakening for the very few who are interested. So, so, you know, it's not my jurisdiction. The whole world of humans is not my jurisdiction. I can't do anything about it. But I feel that what we are doing at the Auckland Center can be a small part, a drop in the ocean of a positive way forward.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you're giving us in other parts of the world a model. So I see you're developing this incredible model of possibility that, you know, we who may or may not ever be able to come be with you, maybe pockets of what and I'll use the word work because it's kind of inbred in me, but the play, the loving connection, the replenishment of that loving energy happens. I'm gonna pause us and because we're coming to the close of our time, and I know we could keep going on and on and on, but those who are on the call, if you have a comment or a question for Daimon, please unmute yourself and go ahead and speak. Who would like to jump in? Anybody?
Oh, well, can I say something? Having known Daimon now for several years, and we originally connected, because I'm involved with publishing. We talked about doing a book, and we are still occasionally talking about doing a book. But he actually does have a book that describes. It's a sort of a primitive version of what he's talking about, but it actually describes the process and his experience of doing it. And that's available through Amazon.
Excellent. Would you like to plug it? Either one of you?
I'll resist a plug, but just to say that we are in the process of saving money. We've saved about $3,000 so far to print a more substantial book. As Toby said, the first edition, it's just quite brief.
Yeah.
I think it's still well written, but it is brief, and very nice of you to mention that, Toby.
Great.
But I also want to compliment you for Orsus. You've organized not a committee, but a circle of men all around the world. And I haven't ever tried quite to do that. I've been publishing, but Kirk and Donny are doing something like that. You've gotten more people together than any of the rest of us have ever been able to do.
Yes, brother. If you take anything in from the call today for yourself, Daimon, it is that nourishing love that you speak of is coming back to you, because you have gifts and skills that I have not seen. I know a lot of gay, queer men who love men, leaders throughout the world at this point. But you're doing something very unique. You have a vision and a heart and a passion and a clarity that has drawn many of us in, that few have ever done or have had to do in kind of some business model kind of thing, which sometimes gets a little more sloppy. So all that I'm saying, much gratitude in echo to what you just said, Toby. Anybody want to do just a last comment or question before we have to tie up our time? Any of the rest of you have comment or question before we go?
Yes,
Daimon, my quick question is about you're having mentioned couple as in the word couple. How important are couples in your vision? And what if one is not in a couple?
Yes.
Most of the people who come to us at our center in Auckland are single, or they're in a partnership where the other person is not interested in the couple retreat method. So we usually recommend that a couple be together 6 months for a short retreat and a year for any retreat longer than like 10 days. So to me, it is important to build a relationship of trust with that one person, because it's quite a thing to do the retreat together. Yeah, it is important, but of course, we welcome the single people to be part of the community and build friendships first. Hope that answers that. I think it's, if possible, it's great to have everyone share their voice if possible. So I hope we may be able to briefly hear from Jan as well, if possible.
You've been beckoned, Jan.
I am going to pass. First of all, I want to apologize. I was having some computer issues. That's where I came in. So I haven't gotten the full story, so I'm not really prepared to. But I think anytime somebody is gathering queer men together to maybe break some of our norms that we've fallen into and use, because I just keep on seeing like we've got a lot of wayward spirits, but then when gay men get our shit together, we really can kind of do some amazing work. And that's kind of when I'm hearing you talk, it's like you're so visionary and so kind of like way before the I'm trying to find English words here.
Yes.
I'm impressed. I'm looking forward to hearing more about what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Great.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
something's happening. My with all the nice things you guys are saying, my head is increasing in size. Really.
We
oh my
noticed
God,
that. Yes.
my head's getting so big. This is oh my God, I don't know what to do.
All right.
Good sense of humor.
What's the book again? I'm sorry. Toby was trying to give you a plug, Daimon, but I'm not sure.
Shall I?
Was Amazon Menken? What is the name? What is the title?
Can I type? I'm just wondering if I can type it. No, I can't see how to type in the side screen. So it's called, if you look on Amazon, it's called Bernhard and Lightwing. I think it's my name is there as the author, Daimon Rowse. Can I type?
I tried Daimon Rowse as well as Diamond Dartmoor in the Amazon app, and it didn't turn up.
Oh, yeah, Toby,
I need an N.
Toby.
I need an N.
There you go. Toby's written it. That's great.
Great.
And
but I misspelled it. It's Bern, right? Bernhard.
Bernhard. Yeah,
and Lightweight.
You did it. You did it right. So that there's the chat. Oh no, yeah, with an N. Just needs an N.
Yeah.
Bernhard. Yeah. And also like maybe I can give my email address. If any of you would like to stay in contact, you're welcome to send me an email. Yes. Oh yeah, I can type here. So it's rainbowawakening1 at gmail.com. So I'm very happy to talk, and you know, this is a rare privilege for me to be talking 90% of the time. Usually I try to make sure that other people get to talk more. So if you contact me one-on-one, you'll get to talk more.
Great. All right. So we have contact, we have book as kind of a backup, and we look forward to more, and maybe we'll have you back to keep going with us at another time. So thank you all for being on the call. And our next call for Queer Tribe Conversation is Will Fisher. It's already up on our site of if you go to qt.fleshandspirit.org, you will see both. We'll put up this call in video in the next few days, and there are archives of 10 years of folks, and you also see Will Fisher's bio as well, who's joining us for the next call. So thank you, beloveds. Wish we had more time, but namaste to you all.
Namaste. We'll see you soon again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.